We'll find out the man that I'm supposed to be. What a bam bam. 1966, that was 56 years ago.
You know, Garth, well, first of all, let me just use the opportunity to say good afternoon and welcome again to all our listeners out there to Sunday Scoops, and a program where we try to dive into the history of the music. And this week we want to focus our attention on the whole Jamaica Festival Song Contest. Of course, we want to use the program to revisit some of the songs, but most importantly, what we want to do this with this particular program is to feature some of the, well, certainly we're going to try to feature the all 10 festival songs, songs that have been entered for this year's competition. Of course, there has been some controversy surrounding this our 60th year contest, and we would like to think that at this point that they've resolved the issues, we can bring these songs to the listeners out there, so you can take your pick, take your choice, and certainly we want to help to get you into the festival mode. The 1966 entry that you just played, Garth, with Toots and the Maytals. The group, brand new, young, you know, as you always say, the breast milk upon the mouth corner at the time.
But them telling them have similar.
Right. Yeah, it was just breast milk. But, you know, the group was young, and this was really what helped to launch Toots and the Maytals. But the Festival Song Contest came, what was it, 4 years after the launch of the whole concept of Jamaica Independence Festival, you know, and I think more than anything else.
Yeah, there were two songs in 1962 that kind of heralded the whole independence spirit,
right?
Which was Derek Morgan's Forward March, and Lord Creator had another song, Independent Jamaica.
Absolutely, which I think we should give the listeners a little taste of, even though they were not, at the time, classified as festival songs. Good for the young and the old.
And your children, and your children too.
And your children too, yeah.
Yes.
Notice it, children, right?
Yes, and if you unite, it will be for our success and progress.
You know though, guys, it's as simple as that song sounds, it tells a massive part
history
of the history of thing. We take a lot of things for granted, just like how we take our athletes for granted, we take our music for granted. You know, we take this whole independence thing.
And Lord Creator wasn't even Jamaican.
No, it came from Trinidad, and basically stuck it out, participated in our celebrations and so on. But, you know, you're listening to that story, and it speaks volumes. Here's Jamaica.
About the West Indies Federation. Talk about Norman Manley.
People need to understand the story, the history behind all of that, because it was the scuttling of federation that led eventually to
and
Jamaica.
Then they went back later on and picked it up and created the European Union.
Well, they used that outside of the region, because you are right, the European Union was fashioned after federation, and look at what it has done for Europe, especially ensuring the economic stability of the European region, while we're still struggling. In fact, we replaced federation with CARICOM eventually.
Which is a watered-down version.
Well, it's even worse, because you can't even trade a bag of rice between one island to the next without it causing a problem.
And it's interesting too, the passport says CARICOM country, but as a Jamaican citizen entering into Trinidad or any of the other countries, sometimes the hoops you have to jump through.
Trust me, I've done it several times, and so a big part of it to have to do with your standing and so on. But, you know, without getting into the weeds too much, the reality though is...
Getting into the weed, Richard.
Yeah, into the weed, you're right. But, you know, the stories, the history embedded in this whole period is something that I think all of us as Jamaicans really need to take some time to appreciate.
You know, the other thing to Richard, sorry to cut you off. Just a thought that came to mind, you know. We look at this whole festival song competition, and every time we do it, I'm questioning, why are we telling the same story over and over again?
And I can
But
answer
the
that.
thing, go ahead.
I can answer that. You mean telling the same stories through the songs, etc.?
No, just telling the same independence story. I mean, every year we do it. I mean, we have a new set of songs
It is.
to introduce.
It's important that we do it because we can't take it for granted that you and I, because we have lived over the period that the generations that is following us are aware. The reason why the Jews have been so successful in terms of indoctrinating their young about the Holocaust is because they never miss an opportunity
to tell
that story. And that is why it is important that we understand where we're coming from.
And the importance of repetition.
Absolutely. Now, festival, remember, was birthed out of the independence period. Is very, very important. The whole independence thing came about. We gained independence in 1962. Of course, we are 60 years this year, a significant milestone. But a lot of the celebrations that came with what subsequently became festival came afterwards, and so it is up to us now to tell those stories and to continue the celebration, right? Seaga would have been Minister of Development at the time, the Honorable Edward Philip George
Seaga.
Right, and so he, what he would have done as a Minister of Development is he basically melded a lot of these organizations, because a lot of people seem to think or to give the impression that a lot of this was actually created by Edward Philip George Seaga himself, but that is not exactly true. For example, the festival song thing was just a broadening on the celebrations that were in existence at the time, and because you had a mentor song competition that was running and had been running for years, and so what they did is that they brought all of these things together under a particular umbrella. By the mid to late 1960s, they had a commission that was set up in 65, 66 that gave birth to the Festival Song Contest, and by 1968 that was formed into the Jamaica Festival Commission, which provided oversight for a lot of the festivals.
Hi there. If you enjoyed that clip, go on over to our website at yawdmedia.com, where you can watch the entire broadcast at your leisure. And while you're there, why don't you check out our other reggae music features? And before you leave, pick up some of our Jamaican reggae merchandise, and hey, don't forget to tell your friends.
My name is Garth, otherwise known as Big G.
My name is Richie Blackford.